Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, beautiful soul family, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights, your home for spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. I am your host, Dearjames, and together with the unseen, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, we look at the current energies, the intuitive insights, and wisdom, and we go as guided. Welcome, Olivia. Welcome, Alicia. Welcome from around the globe. So much to get to. And we're going to start with our main theme, and then we'll zigzag. Welcome, Kiki. So, our main theme, renewal. It's written in the stars. And you see this beautiful crescent moon. It's the Gemini new moon. You have this guiding star and all of the stars, just this beautiful image of the cypresses jutting up out of in the frame and everything, but it's renewal. It's written in the stars. And you may ask, well, why renewal? Well, even astrologer Susan Miller from astrologyzone.com is speaking to the fact that this is the official start of 2025. Welcome, Elizabeth. And why? Because when we began the year, when we ended 2024 and we began 2025, all of the personal planets, Mercury, Mars, Venus, and so forth, they were all going retrograde, one right after the other. And it's been pretty tumultuous and rough, and we just cleared literally all of those the interpersonal planets. We have cleared their shadow phase, the post-shadow phase. And so with this Gemini new moon, it is like this official start of 2025 and this sense of renewal. So I'm just bringing it up again, renewal. It's written in the stars. We've waited for this time. And also remember too, Neptune's moved into Aries. Saturn has moved into Aries. Pluto is in Aquarius. All of the outer planets that take years to move signs, to change signs, are changing this year. Yes, some of them will retrograde, but by early 2026, they're all officially in their new signs. So welcome, Sue. So this is really an exciting turn, a change, a changing of the guard, a turning of the page. So let's get to it. So main energies. We're working with nourished while waiting, patience. Lord knows we have had patience. So nourished while waiting, this critical mass, adjust, small restraint, surrender. We're going to work with hexagram 24, return, go back. Because when this is all about this return back to center, back to who we are, our true essence, our soul source connection, our soul, and about the conflict, letting go, let go of the conflict that prevents us from getting there. So now let's take a look at the astrological chart for this Gemini new moon. And as you all know, I read the astrology charts intuitively. I look at the dynamics in the center circle. And this, again, reinforced from last week, our umbrella effect. It's literally, if any of you, you have a garden umbrella and it's an offset umbrella, you have the big base at the bottom, the pole goes up, and then the umbrella extends out over, shading your seating area and everything. It's giving you, protection, comfort. It allows you to sit with the sun out but a cool breeze. That's what this Gemini new moon feels like. Note that we have these effects, the blue triangle in the center, if you will. Let's focus on that for a second. Far top right, if you will, is Pluto retrograde. Coming straight across, we're looking at Uranus. Go to the tip of the umbrella, we've got Neptune and Saturn. These planets, and you'll see with some of the astrologers, these are playing out. This effect between these big three are going to play out. Pluto, Uranus, Neptune. They're going to be playing out over the course of the months in a positive way. These are blue lines which denote trines and sextiles and so forth. So harmonious aspects, mega outer planets playing together, working together for us. And then what I love too about this is, the pole that is holding this up, that is giving it, at the base of the pole is Mars in Leo. It is trining Venus, the ascendant, lot of fortune. So the ascendant, lot of fortune, Venus. And remember, we had this beautiful image some shows ago, Venus, Venus, Venus. So here's the divine feminine leading the way, working in this harmonious aspect, this harmonious trine with the ascendant, with the lot of fortune, and with the divine masculine, Mars, at its base. So here's the astrological influences, and I just thought this was so fascinating. So yes, we had Saturn in Aries. Mercury entered Gemini, which is where Jupiter is right now. And then of course, it's the new moon in Gemini. So the sun and the moon are also in Gemini. And then coming up, we have the Sun, Mercury, cazimi. And remember, a cazimi is where the planet Mercury, in this instance, Mercury, is in the heart of the sun. So it burns away all of the old layers. It's like being in the forge. So, and Mercury is how we communicate. It's our thoughts, our words, communications, mechanics, things that are celluloid film, things of this nature. So that all gets refreshed. It's like the phoenix, and you'll see how that plays in a minute. And we also have a very important CHIRON-ERIS. So Chiron, the wounded healer, Eris, the goddess of discord. They're conjunct. It's going to be the first of 3 times. This number 3 influence is going to be big. 3s. And that's occurring again. It's coming up. Well, it just happened yesterday. So, but that's going to perfect 3 times coming up. And so, pardon me, I skipped it. From the unseen for these astrological influences of this Gemini new moon, parachuting to paradise. I thought that was so interesting. And then the trifecta effect. Well, parachuting to paradise. A parachute. To float down safely through the air from a great height. To be brought in suddenly to help an organization or a situation. This can refer to individuals like consultants or executives who are brought in to provide expertise or leadership. So this parachuting in, parachuting to paradise. So it's like a soft landing. The parachute allows a parachutist jump out of a plane. No, thank you, but how wonderful for those that do. But it allows that individual to land safely. It's also this part where someone parachutes in, or you get the golden parachute as an executive. Well, this is the unseen, as above, so below. All these planetary goodies parachuting in. Paradise. An ideal or idyllic place or state of extreme beauty, delight, or happiness. A state of supreme happiness, bliss. A place or condition of great happiness where everything is exactly as you would like it to be. In some religions, heaven as the ultimate abode of the just. Eden. So we have this parachuting in, this paradise. So parachuting into paradise. We're talking about how this Gemini new moon is the official start, if you will, to 2025, to this major shift. And yes, some of the major planets are going to go back and finish up business, tidy up, before they officially launch into this permanent new. However, it's about parachuting into paradise. And think about this, how, again, it's about individually. It's about us releasing the old, emptying the vessel, letting go of the old identities, labels, scripts, stories, truths, these things that we tell ourselves that we're even unconscious of. Are we aware of the words, of the mindset, of the mentality that comes out of our mouths, that we live by? It's about say yes. This Gemini new moon, this official start to and it's more than 2025. It's this official start to the new. Our mantra could be say yes. So, because there's an idyllic or ideal place or state of extreme beauty, delight, or happiness that we will live in, reside in, the trifecta effect. And by the way, just to show you why this came up, you see from Pluto over to, it's aspecting not only Uranus, but Mercury, the sun and the moon, the Gemini new moon. So it gives this three effect. It's three-pronged. Well, this is the same effect. So with the trifecta effect, it generally refers to a situation where three elements or factors combine to create a powerful, synergistic, and often beneficial outcome. So we've got the big three, Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune, that are going to be playing out. We've got this immediate trifecta of the new moon, the sun, the moon, Mercury, and Pluto. This coming together, this three elements or factors that combine to create a powerful, synergistic, and often beneficial outcome. The core idea is that the three elements work together in a way that is more effective than if they were considered independently. All of this is conspiring, the unseen, these celestial heavens and bodies and everything are conspiring to work together, to collaborate and work together on humanity's behalf, on our behalf. And we have from last week the umbrella effect, and it still looks like a wonderful umbrella. And that had to do with Saturn entering Aries. And the umbrella effect, in essence, refers to a phenomenon where a dominant force, entity, or principle creates a protective and supportive environment that extends benefits to others. This is the unseen wanting for us, protecting us, shielding us. It's the umbrella, shielding us to create a protective and supportive environment that extends benefits to others, to all. It's what's on tap. It's what's on offer. I just want to go through, before we dive into all of the meat of it, so to speak, and just run through our mantra. It's time to break free. It's number one from the unseen. It's the song by Queen. The lyrics to the song is, I want to break free. What the unseen said was, it's time to break free. So I'll post the song in the Facebook thread on the Dearjames Facebook page. It's just, when you hear the lyrics, it's time to break free. That's what they're talking about. Here again, the crescent moon. And this is a beautiful image. Astrology by Lauren is using it. And it is a beautiful image that is called Spring Scattering Stars by Edwin Blashfield. So our mantra is, it's time to break free. And there's a reason, because where we may have felt stuck or obstacles and let's face it, if we're watching the world news and everything, pardon me, it just looks like everything's going to hell in a handbag fast. Well, however, we've been talking about for some time in the Weekly Wisdom and Insights, this journey that the old has to collapse. It has to end. It crumbles under its own weight. But from the ashes, the phoenix, from the ashes, the new is born. In the ending is the beginning, and the beginning is the end. So we're aware of this, so it's about seeing through the illusions. because it's time to break free. And what was interesting, I Want to Break Free is the song from Queen. Well, it's the 1984 album. There's a lot of reference to 1984. And, the book 1984 about the future, this dystopian future and so forth. Well, the album is called The Works. And see, again, when we look at these, just look at this astrological chart for the Gemini new moon, it's just really good. As the Lady Jacqueline would say, it's really juicy in a really good way. And so this whole piece about it's time to break free, because what's on offer is the works. The works, not work, the works. That's joy. That's being at the banquet of life. That's our true essence coming up and out and shining. And as a result, because it's now inverted, it's matriarchal, it's Aquarian. So because it's for the people, in inverse, it comes back to us that it's for us. So it's, instead of it's for us and then others might benefit or not, now it's the inverse. It's for us, and by reciprocity, I receive. There's greatness in it. There's joy in it. It's number 2 from the unseen. And Kiki is saying, I've never needed faith so much in my life as I do now. See, faith is about maintaining hope, positivity. It's about seeing through the illusions. And I'm right there with you, Kiki. There are times where I'm reading the news or something, and I'm like, oh, it is just so heavy and so irritating and burdensome and so forth. And then I just stop myself and I say, stop. No more. Don't buy into it. This too shall pass. It will pass. Is it a painful moment to bear witness to? Yes. However, it makes us stronger. And so just don't buy into the illusion. Allow it to pass. Pardon me. Had a tickle. Because it's number 2 from the unseen. God, the all that is, created us, created you for more. And your time is now. So we were created for this moment. We were created for more. And your time is now. It's time to shine now. It is that beautiful renewal. It's written in the stars. And it's time to break free. Pardon me. And it's about, and let us break free from past restraints, past obstacles that are self-imposed. They are stories and scripts and identities and labels and truths that we're telling ourselves. And yet that's an illusion, because when that's all stripped away, if you were standing naked in an 8-lane highway with all high beams on you, at your center, you would be your natural innate self, pure, empowered, full of vitality. You were created, God created you for more, and your time is now. That is what the unseen is saying to us. Our time is now. So where there are those that are attempting to, rewind the clock, it's futile. It will not last or sustain itself. So, and our key word, I love this, innovation. And you see all these gears and mechanisms, and you'll see why they tie in with another part of our theme and our energies for this Gemini new moon. And so, innovation, a new idea, method, or device, or the use of new ideas and methods. See, this is a new time. This is a new time for us. And so again, it's about releasing the past. Let go of the past. Stand in the present future, the present moment, and be open to receive what's new, what's coming in for you. Innovation is the process of bringing about new ideas, new methods, new products, new services, or new solutions that have a significant positive impact and value. The old way isn't going to cut it anymore. So it's about releasing that. Thank you. Namaste. I bow to the divine in you. And then let it go. Innovation involves transforming creative concepts into tangible outcomes that improve efficiency and effectiveness or address unmet needs. So again, we're not since the French American industrial revolutions. I mean, we're talking, 1776-ish, that's a long time since Pluto was in Aquarius. It's all about reinvention, renewal. It's written in the stars. And how it's about tangible, it's something we can literally feel, see, touch, smell, it put into practice. Tangible outcomes that improve efficiency, effectiveness, or address unmet needs. And of course, there's great needs in the world. And there's the divine within us, when we harness the power of the divine through humanity, through we the people, it's limitless. The possibilities are limitless. We have spent a lot of time in the patriarchal Piscean era that had to do with ego, mind, personality first. The me, 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 me. Okay, but now it's the inverse of that. And when we look at how these things will, the opportunities and the possibilities of what's before us and how we do it in a way that lifts everyone up, the greatness of that, it's contagious. The excitement of it, the courage of it, the fortitude of it, it's contagious. And that ripples out, and that ripple comes back, and it just keeps going. So at its core, innovation at its core involves challenging the status quo. See, we're challenging the status quo. We're letting go of the past. Innovation is about thinking outside the box and taking calculated risks to drive progress and achieve breakthrough outcomes. Innovation is driven by a combination of factors, including curiosity, creativity, and the desire for improvement. It requires a mindset that embraces change. We've got to embrace change. Otherwise, it's stagnant, it's stale. We've already been where we've been. We have no idea where we're going. However, our soul, we have a knowing that says, there's more. You were created. God created you for more, and your time is now. It's time to break free. It's about the works. Sue is saying, yes, break free makes sense because the agency that I'm housed by and the chosen clients keep a toxic, hostile energy, and I'm unable to fix it. So it's necessary. I move. I get out. Well, see, it's not about fixing others. It's about recognizing where am I? See, we're never lost. We're always somewhere. And so you ask the unseen. You ask your soul, where am I? You'll get an answer. And then it's what we do with that answer that matters. This is where Kiki, to her point, this is where faith and trust and fortitude and determination, because it requires a mindset. Innovation requires a mindset that embraces change, welcomes ideation, and encourages experimentation. Innovation can occur in various contexts, such as business, science, technology, social sectors, or public services. It can lead to economic growth, social progress, improved quality of life, and sustainable development. And that was by ideascale.com. So you can see that our key word here, innovation, and how the wheels, and I kept seeing this, I kept seeing the wheels, like the wheels of time, the wheels of creation, the wheels of innovation. They were turning. And it's exciting because it's like, it denotes possibilities. It's about what's possible, what's within me that I've yet to tap, that I've yet to say yes to. That's huge. And it's powerful, and it's about, this is how we start. The official start to 2025, this Gemini new moon. So now we're going to take a step back. We're going to go to Astrology by Lauren, and we are going to talk about Saturn in Aries. She begins with a quote by Joseph Head. When the phoenix is reduced to ashes, one glowing spark signifying the immortal being is supposed to remain. And from this, the new life is evolved. See, it's from the ashes. It is the phoenix rising. This is our time. So the old ends. It's the phoenix reduced to ashes. And yet there's one glowing spark that signifies the immortal being, our soul, our essence. And this is about ourselves individually and collectively. Because we can have our own personal phoenix, our own personal reduced to ashes moment. That's a good thing. Yes, there might be melancholy and all this good stuff because we're letting go of things, releasing things, to Sue's point, this letting go of a place to move forward. And yet, this is where we have the opportunity to be renewed, reborn. So, Astrology by Lauren. On Saturday, May 24th, Saturn enters Aries. It changes signs every 2.5 years, but it only enters Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, once every 29 years. As she wrote this, Saturn is at its very last degree, so this was just a few days ago. The very last few minutes of Pisces. We are being prepared to gather all the wisdom gained, all the experience, all the hard knocks and achievements from this previous era, Saturn in Pisces, and bring them with us as we embark on this next leg of our life's journey. We've spoken a lot about we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. We take the best of it. We release what no longer serves. We maintain and bring with us the purity, the best of the best. And we move forward. We embark on this next leg of our life's journey. It could feel a bit like we are leaving wisps of our lives behind us, that there are mere remnants of a lifetime's dreams still to be pursued. But actually, what this is not an ending, but a new beginning. A new journey with new expectations, new potentials, and different aspirations. As Saturn enters Aries, we are about to establish a new normal. Neptune entering Aries at the end of March was like putting an unrestrained filter on Aries stuff. We can do anything. There are no limits, no boundaries, no consequences. We can reach for the stars. Renewal, it's written in the stars. Then Saturn comes along with lifetimes of 29-year cycles, accumulated wisdom, and merely says, not quite. However, this time they're co-presenting. Saturn will walk with Neptune, which means they are going to be influenced. And remember, it was that regenerative humbling. So there's an aspect about this time around that for me intuitively, not as an astrologer, but as an intuitive, that says this time's different. So here, Astrology by Lauren, she continues, it could feel like cognitive dissonance. A part of us assumes that things will always be as they have in the past, that you and your life will never change. We do this as we get older. In your head, you are perpetually young, but your life, your body, your environment, your relationships, the mirror, all those aches and pains tell another story. And yet there's a renewal about this that says, yes, but my grandmother used to say, you're only as old as you think you are, as you believe you are. And there's a power and a truth in that. You might be 100 and yet be childlike, have the vitality and the joy of a newborn. The age, yes, it's a number. It's the number of rings around the trunk of the tree, if you will. However, it's our mindset that also matters greatly. As Saturn joins Neptune in the sign of Aries this week, we are being asked to find some way to adjust to whatever the new normal is, that is emerging out of the ashes of the life that was. Because we are changing. The world is changing. It's advancing. It looks like it's going backwards, but it's not. It's futile. But we are also being asked to do so without losing sight of the things that matter and make your life meaningful. This is that part, Kiki, see through the illusion. Because we are being asked to do so without losing sight of the things that truly matter, that are truly meaningful. See through the illusion. This is not about sacrificing your ideals, The ideals are the spark out of which the new life will evolve. This isn't about giving up on ourselves. It's about quadrupling down on that spark, that inner knowing, that inner light. And all we have to do in any moment is just shift our energy, shift our mindset. What are we thinking? What are we focusing on? What are we looking at? What are we or who are we engaging with? And be willing to change, embrace change. When planets enter a new sign, they begin to channel that energy through their own lens. Aries is a sign of raw, primal energy, heralding a rebirth, a renewal. From where we are standing, that rebirth may be so new that we don't fully even know what that is yet. And Saturn, which really does not like things to change, will probably bring up a lot of resistance, fear, and avoidance. Trying to channel Aries through Saturn is like fighting a fire with the fuel to feed it. But rather than rejecting or trying to squelch the fire, what we are being tasked to do is channel that fire and passion and raw energy in a constructive way. Listen to your soul source connection. Ask the unseen for guidance in any situation. Ask, and then you'll feel it. You'll get a knowing. You'll get a word. You'll have a whole story or picture. And then go as guided. Make goals, create a plan, be strategic. And in this way, make Saturn work for your vision, not against it. Saturn with Neptune, they're going to be working together. They're co-presenting. And Saturn in Aries is typically in its detriment, its fall. In this way, and this was just Colleen, who's one of the fellow travelers in our Weekly Wisdom and Insights journey, there was an importance that she made a point, a question, post on the follow-up for the show. And the point is, what the unseen was saying about Saturn in Aries in co-presenting with Neptune, we can receive something of greatness, something just joy-filled. It will still represent regenerative humbling because it's what we do with it that matters. Do we take something and say, oh, look at me, how wonderful and how grand I am and how important? Or do I recognize the profound gift given, something so extraordinary, and I do so with humility and grace? We the people, the Aquarian age, that we walk in this humility, that's regenerative humbling. Equally, when we receive something bad, it's a fall from grace, a fall from on high. We're too full of ourselves, which is a return. We're going back to center. We've got to, it's about, making the strong weak and the weak strong, if you will. That's a regenerative humbling. Both exist. It's where are we? So Astrology by Lauren. Just before Saturn enters Aries on Saturday, this was this past Saturday, Mercury makes its last conjunction to Uranus while still in the sign of Taurus. This could bring a stark awareness that we are not in Kansas anymore. Through a series of surprising events and twists and turns, we notice a shift in the air. Then on Sunday, Mercury enters Gemini, from where it will both sextile Saturn. Sextile is a harmonious aspect. So it'll sextile Saturn and Neptune in Aries. At this time, we are being asked, what might you change in your perceptions that will allow you to not only adjust to the new normal, but to be a co-producer? See, to be in the flow, to recognize that we are in charge. We are co-participants. We allow our soul to lead. Allow the soul to sit in the driver's seat, our soul source connection. Allow the ego, mind, personality, human to sit in the sidecar. Allow it to be in service to the soul. That is a beautiful ride, and it's expansive. In July, Saturn and Neptune, and so in July of 2025, Saturn and Neptune will make their retrograde stations and will briefly return to Pisces later this year. They do so for some unfinished business, some final tidying up. But in the meantime, we are being given this glimpse into a future that is yet to be. On Monday, May 26th, we have the new moon at 6 degrees of Gemini with a conjunction to Mercury, they're conjunct together, and a trine, harmonious aspect to transformational Pluto, we can use the new moon to gain fresh awareness and perspective. Saturn entering the first degree of Aries in the first sign of the zodiac is about new beginnings, as is the new moon, the Gemini new moon, which can assist us through this process. The new moon in Gemini can be used to bring clarity and understanding. It's about taking that pause to gain wisdom, clarity, truth. Not a truth, not to Sue's point where we're talking about how I'm unable to fix them. We don't need to fix others. We only need to tend to ourselves. Know what's right for us and go as guided. Go forth and conquer. So the new moon in Gemini can be used to bring clarity and understanding. Gemini is an inquisitive sign, anxious to discover what may be waiting for us on the other side. Saturn entering Aries can bring a little resistance to change, a longing for the things we are accustomed to and always assumed would be there. And this reminds me, it's like when you move to a new location or a new place or you begin something new. There's always kind of a little bit of a longing, a melancholiness for what was, where you had been. And this nervousness and a little anxiety, nervousness, trepidation or whatever for the new. And then yet months, minutes, weeks, whatever days later, you start getting you get that feel, you're getting the newness in a sense is wearing off. Well, guess what happens? All of a sudden you hit the ground running. You're like, oh, look at all of this. And then you literally you say yes, and you say, well, what's new here? Who are the new people? What's the new job? What are the new responsibilities? What are the new opportunities? That's what Astrology by Lauren, this is what she's speaking to. Because that Gemini new moon speaks to, well, what's been waiting for us on the other side. Saturn entering Aries can bring a little resistance to change. It's a longing for what we're accustomed to, but it's assumed that it would always be there. But the Gemini moon does not resist change. It observes, flows with, and becomes one with it. And in this way positions us to be a co-collaborator for what is yet to be. Therefore, may we all strive to become the change that we wish to see in the world. Become the thing that you wish for, that you hope for, that you want. Be it. Emulate it. It's Wallace D. Wattles. Small acts in great ways leads you, delivers you to the person, the place, the thing that you want to be. It's that you wish to see in the world. Astrology by Lauren, she concludes with a quote from Krishnamurti. Without freedom from the past, there is no freedom at all, because the mind is not new, fresh, and innocent. It's our mindset. It is our ego, mind, personality. It is getting the ego to let go of the past, to have a fresh new mind, an innocent new mind. That delivers us and works in concert with these energies that are present. Because as above, so below, it's all moving forward. And it's number 3 from the unseen. All of this beautiful Gemini new moon, look at the astrology of this. Saturn in Aries, Pluto in Aquarius, all these major changes and everything. The unseen said, an orchestrated event or orchestrated events, an orchestrated occurrence. And then it's the song by In Vogue, which we've had before, but they said, free your mind and the rest will follow. Well, here's the quote from Krishnamurti that Astrology by Lauren is using. Without freedom from the past, there is no freedom at all, because the mind is not new, fresh, and innocent. An orchestrated event or occurrence. Free your mind and the rest will follow. Because when we liberate ourselves, when we empty our vessel, we free ourselves, the new is right in front of us. So now we're going to jump to astrologer Chani Nicholas. This is from the weekly issue number 68. This week's new moon in Gemini brings a pivotal reset. Whatever you need to refresh, rewrite, or redo, the time is now. God created you for more, and your time is now. The time is now. You can't make this stuff up if you try. We won't have another new moon quite like this for another 12 years. So get that red pen ready, and remember, you're the only one who can grant yourself a clean slate. We just had that. Remember last week when I said that I went to do the SABIAN symbols and they were like, no, just clear them all out. They sat blank, the 20 symbols blank, because there was this new slate. Here, you're the only one that can grant yourself a clean slate. When the sun teams up with Mercury later in the week, hey Kazemi, the quote, new thoughts, new you, energy gets dialed up a notch, but so do insights and hot gossip. So be careful about don't participate in gossip. Let it walk on by. Inspiration is everywhere right now. Keep your notes app open and be ready. So there's this piece about peace. There's this piece about renewal. It's written in the stars. It's present for us. And we're going to continue on with the new moon in Gemini, and this is from astrobutterfly.com. New moon in Gemini, opportunities. This is about renewal, which is about opportunities. Say yes. Use discernment. However, say yes. Let go of the past. astrobutterfly.com. On May 27th, 2025, we have a new moon at 6 degrees Gemini. Remember, 6, conflict, let go. So hexagram 6 is about letting go of the conflict, the resistance, the obstructions, the obstacles. You know, these story scripts, labels, identities, let them go. It's at 6, the new moon's at 6 degrees Gemini. This is one of the most auspicious new moons of the year. It is conjunct together with its ruler, Mercury. It's trine Pluto. Trine is a harmonious aspect. It's trine Pluto in Aquarius, and sextile, another harmonious aspect, Neptune and Saturn in Aries. The new moon in Gemini has opportunities written all over it. A new lunar cycle also means we are saying goodbye to the previous lunar cycle in Taurus, which was tense, to say the least. The new moon in Gemini will feel like a breath of fresh air, as if a heaviness has been lifted. Two interesting things about this new moon in Gemini. First, it's conjunct its own ruler, Mercury, which makes it extra potent and extra Gemini. You can see me, I'm like, what? Jupiter is also in Gemini, so Jupiter is the great benefic. Well, it's giving a magical boost to whatever we initiate. Second, it aspects all the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, as well as the newly ingressed Saturn in Aries. This is the first new moon with Saturn in Aries fully, and it's really kicking things into gear. So look how this new moon is aspecting all the outer planets. It's just all good. That beautiful trifecta effect, the umbrella effect, this parachuting into paradise. It doesn't get better than this. And this, as astrologer Susan Miller from astrologyzone.com, it's the official start to 2025. She didn't even do her annual projections and everything, because she said, I didn't want to have to talk about the first, in essence, 5 months of the retrogrades and the obstacles and look back at things and everything. She didn't do it this year. There's a theme about, nope, don't do the SABIAN symbols. It's a clearing of the slate. So astrobutterfly.com continues, but the reason this new moon is so special is that it initiates an important configuration that will unfold over the next few years. A minor triangle between the big three. Here's that triangle, the blue triangle in the big three, Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus. This is a spectacular configuration that supports change and progress at a rate we may have never seen before. Things are speeding up. Things are moving faster. So discernment is key, but so is saying yes. So is taking the calculated risks. So is showing up, because you were created for more, and it's your time now. It's time. We are no longer in the Pluto in Capricorn, Neptune in Pisces era. The world looks very different from how it did prior to 2024, when Pluto moved into Aquarius. Everything is being reconfigured. And remember, we had that, it was number 5 from last week's show, a cosmic geometric recalibration of reality. Hang on, it's going to get interesting. So this is here, astrobutterfly.com is talking about the world looks very different and everything is being reconfigured. From alliances to systems of power and influence, innovation and AI are changing the rules, but also opening new doors and possibilities. We are entering a completely new world where we have the chance to become active participants. We have always been co-creators. We are the guest, the host, the master weaver, the all that is, and how we work in tandem, in concert with, to co-create, to collaborate, to co-present. And Gemini will play a very important role in this new scenario. Jupiter has been turning Gemini into a prime venue for growth, paving the way for Uranus, which enters the sign in July of 2025, to really accelerate innovation and change. Uranus, the higher mind. Expect the unexpected. It's rapid movement, unexpected change. This shift from Earth to air, so Capricorn to Aquarius, Taurus to Gemini, means we are becoming less focused on earthy, tangible concerns like material accumulation or survival, and more attuned to how we connect with others and how we express ourselves. See, and it's air over water. We had that many shows ago, this air over water and the living waters, air, the fluidity of moving fast, quickly, in being in the flow. Success and happiness will no longer be measured by the size of our bank account or the stability of our assets, but by our social connections, how much we stay active, and how we contribute to this new world to make it a better place. Saturn and Neptune in Aries. See, they're co-presenting Saturn and Neptune in Aries. How do we do this in a Gemini way? We expand our horizons. We learn new things. We stay curious and open. Gemini is our interface with the world. It's where we take in bits of information, bits of inspiration, and from there build something new. Chances are that most opportunities in our lives, even if you didn't recognize it at the time, have come to you through some sort of Gemini activity. The SABIAN symbol of this new moon is a well with bucket and rope under the shade of majestic trees. The SABIAN symbol speaks of quiet abundance and support, the umbrella effect, the trifecta effect, this parachuting into paradise, this a well with bucket and rope, because it's the living waters. You have to lower your bucket down into the well and then pull it back up. So it means there are works involved. But what we're doing is bringing it up to make it useful. So the SABIAN symbol speaks of quiet abundance and support. The universe is providing us with what we need. All we have to do is reach out and draw from it. At the new moon in Gemini, pay attention to whatever emerges, however subtle or ordinary it may seem, because it might just be the spark that sets your next big idea in motion. This is this beautiful opportunity to excel, to return. And so let us go to hexagram 24, return, go back. This is from Carrie Hone at cafeosoul.com. Its hidden influence is the divine feminine, the receptive, yield to the moment. That is the receptive, the divine feminine is the gentle mare. She's guided, she just goes, she knows where to go. And its underlining cause is coming to meet, encounter. We're coming to meet ourselves, our soul self, our higher octave self. We're returning to it because we've gone so far out. It's like taffy or some, like a rubber band just being stretched. We've gone so far out and away from it. And we are seeing the very shadow aspects, the very worst of it. When we get that far away from the light, from our center, we see the worst of it. It brings us to our first quote. which is progress is often marked by a slow return to original sincerity. And I love this image of the inside of a seashell, the spiraling scope, because of course ascension it's a spiral effect. It's cyclical, if you will, but it's ever ascending. You're either ascending or descending. So progress is often marked by a slow return to original sincerity. Sometimes we need to stop and go back. Go back means go back to your soul. Go back to your soul source connection, your center. This can arise when we have taken an improper course or the wrong path and need to return to where we started. As a society, 8 billion souls on the planet, we're seeing about an improper course or the wrong path because we've gotten so far away from center. Other times we can get so far away from who we really are that return is necessary to reconnect with the core part of us that has remained unchanged over time. That part of us that has remained unchanged over time, that's our soul source connection, our true north. It knows. It never leads us astray. Ego, mind, personality, human, beg, barter, steal, negotiate, lie, you name it. The soul sits at true north at 12 o'clock, high noon. It stays there, unwavering, undeterred, patiently waiting. However, things are changing. It's accelerating. So again, the more we're in flow, the more we let go of the past and step into this, the newness that is. And then what a magic carpet ride. I mean, how incredible is that? Because it's only fear that's going to prevent you from not doing that. Fear of what somebody might think, fear of the unknown, fear of not having, fear. Well, fear is energy. So harness the energy of fear to either catapult yourself forward, because the alternative is to immobilize you, which is stagnation. You don't want that. So Carrie Hone at cafeosoul.com. The hidden influence of the receptive, the divine feminine, the receptive shows a need for an inner opening, while the cause or past condition was one of focusing on encountering others. After a time of splitting apart, and we've had that, hexagram 23, splitting apart, it's all about letting go of the past. We're splitting apart. So after a time of splitting apart, a return to the self to develop authenticity is necessary. A regenerative humbling. That's authenticity, humility. You are at a turning point in this situation, and progress is often marked by a slow return to original sincerity. It was our first quote. It may seem like you are not moving forward, although progress is still occurring. This is because by returning, you reconnect with your true path. This can be a time to examine your intentions. A disconnect may be occurring where you seek a specific outcome yet experience something different. Examine your commitment to the situation and whether or not it truly serves you. See, this is about, am I in alignment with my soul, with my authenticity, with my truth? And then when I am, listen, and then go as guided. Because it's about examine your commitment to the situation and whether or not it truly serves you. There is a need to align intention and commitment with the truth of what you are truly capable of achieving. God created you for more, and your time is now. There is a need to align intention and commitment with the truth of what you are truly capable of achieving. Return can come after false starts with the sole purpose of showing you what is truly important to you. See, sometimes we have to go experience things, people, places, things, or whatever, to recognize, that's not really serving me, or the purity of the intention of why I did something, or went somewhere, or took this job, or entered this relationship, or whatever, that the purity of the intention was lacking. It wasn't pure. And thereby, you have that impure experience as long as you need to get the lesson, the awareness, the conscious awareness to go, okay, time to move forward. This isn't it. This is a time when you have a fresh start to proceed more carefully, consciously. Sometimes the message can be that those who have gone may return. So there may be those that have left our lives that come back, that represent themselves. Again, be open, use discernment, and then discern what's in your highest and best. The master said, when the way turns back, all things turn back with it. As above, so below. All the planets, the major planets, all of this conspiring for us. It's a turning back. It's that spiral shell. It's a turning back to ascend, not to stay where it was, but for ascension purposes. So when the way turns back, all things turn back with it. Turning back is how the way moves. Know when to stop, and you will meet with no danger. See, it's to know. We can get a knowing, a person, a place, a thing. We can get something in a nanosecond, in an instant, in a knowing. We don't need to spend a lifetime with a person, place, or thing. When our soul speaks, it's true north. When it says ding, danger, Will Roger, danger. Know when to stop, and you will meet with no danger. It's to know, but you have to override, because what happens? The ego, my personality, comes in and says, "Oh no, I can, I know, but I really want this, or I can, I can put up with this." Or the ego, mind, personality, the human, negotiates, barters, tries to tell you differently, and there's your soul, source connection, your soul, true north, going, "Hi, hello, this is." We can get that in a nanosecond and walk on by. So, in conclusion, with Carrie Hone, hexagram 24 return at cafeosoul.com, thunder within the earth, the image of a turning point. We are at a turning point. The arousing thunder stirs the receptive earth and represents the receptive earth, Mother Earth, the maternal in us, the matriarchal internal, the divine feminine in us. So the arousing thunder stirs the receptive earth and represents a turning point or a time for return. There may be a homecoming or a return to a past situation. Sometimes returning is about simply returning to the core of who we are, who you are. And it brings us to our second quote, which is, return shows the stem of character. This beautiful pink roses, it's the stem. Return shows the stem of character. So it shows what we're made of, what our commitment, our determination, our commitment, our will, our receptiveness to listen, to go as guided. Because it is a commitment, it is a way of life to align with the way. So brings me to number 4. And what I heard was ancient machinations. And this is that image. And this is the image. It was the closest one. All of these gears and the timepieces, and then you see the little nodules in turquoise that represent the moon, the phases of the moon. It's this ancient machinations. Machinations is complicated and secret plans, especially in obtaining or using power. This is number 4 from the unseen. So these wheels of time, of the cosmos, of creation, these complicated and secret plans, especially in obtaining or using power. Now, typically this word has a negative connotation, if you will. It's the abuse of power. It's being sly and deceptive and so forth. The way the unseen means it in number 4 is that these ancient machinations, these complicated and secret plans, especially in obtaining or using power, they're turning, they're shifting, they're ascending, they're moving upward. We're going back to return. We're going back to where we began, an octave higher. It's matriarchal. It's Aquarian. It's we the people. It's our soul source connection leading and driving. That's the force. All else works in concert with and in service to that. And last but not least, it's number 5 from the unseen. And we've got North Point Journal too, so I got to get all of this in. So it was about rewrite the stars. And it's a song from The Greatest Showman. It's the third promotional song before the movie was released. The song is an aerial duet between two of the characters, Philip Carlyle and Anne Wheeler. The two are in love, but destiny seems to keep pulling them away from each other. Lyrically, the song takes on the subject of controlling their own fate and not letting the stars, air quotes, the stars, the stories they are destined to live, tell them otherwise. It means, like, again, sometimes it's like, well, what does society say? Or what does the people in our lives say? Or, how are we allowing those stories or our own stories, scripts, identities, masks, labels, to tell us how we're destined to live and tell them otherwise? And believing that even though they love each other, no one can write the stars or do the impossible. And yet that's exactly what happens in the movie. They rewrite the stars. They face the obstacles, the current, ego, mind, personality, human aspects, these things that are blocking us. And they rewrite the stars. And then they came right behind that, and 5 denotes change from the unseen. So here, what if we rewrite the stars? And then they said, it's all in the plane. It's all in the plane is a book. It's the title of a book written by Shirley MacLaine. The 5th volume in one of the most extraordinary personal odysseys of the 20th century. Oscar-winning actress, social activist, singular entertainer, and best-selling author, Shirley MacLaine has the courage to be both candid and controversial. She's showing up. She's saying yes. She has the courage for the moment to rise to the occasion. In this book, she casts herself in her most challenging role yet, as seeker of personal and metaphysical truth. She wants to know the truth. She's facing herself, her spirituality, her humanness, her ego, mind, personality, her soul. It began in Peru 10 years ago and ended in Peru 10 years later. But the steps along the way were the real story. See, it's always about the journey, not the destination. In filming the miniseries Out on a Limb, Shirley MacLaine was forced to recreate herself 10 years earlier, to journey back from Malibu to London, from Sweden to the mysterious landscape of Peru, to the places, the perceptions, and profound emotions she experienced then. She was facing herself. And to journey beyond, exploring new personal and cosmic dimensions, the choices of her lifetimes, who she was and who she would become. At the heart of Shirley MacLaine's testament is a compelling challenge. We choose our own destinies, create our own illusions. We have the power to design the world in which we live and the strength to remake ourselves in the image of our dreams. There's a massive theme here. This Gemini new moon, Saturn in Aries, Neptune in Aries, all the major planets shifting. It's about rewrite the stars. It's about we have the power to design the world in which we live and the strength to remake ourselves in the image of our dreams. Because God created you, they created us for more. And it's our time. The time is now. And so, last but not least, we move to Pam Youngan's North Point Journal, and she's speaking to the CHIRON-ERIS conjunction. Chiron's the wounded healer, Eris is the goddess of discord. After building in influence since mid-January, a conjunction between Chiron and Eris perfects for the first time this week. This longer-term alignment unites the forces of the wounded healer and the goddess of discord. When a new planet is discovered, astrologers learn about its effects by watching it over time. Dwarf planet Eris was discovered in 2005, so we have been monitoring its effects for only about 20 years. We learned a great deal about Eris when it conjoined Uranus in 2016, the year that marked the beginning of the #MeToo movement. We now understand that Eris in Aries is an instigator, bringing truths to light that stir controversy and ignite the fires of change. Together, Chiron and Eris reveal uncomfortable realities and stir painful emotions. They reveal traumas and their causes and expose wounds so that they can be seen, treated, and ultimately healed. Renewal, it's written in the stars. Historical references, Pam Youngins continues. The last time Chiron and Eris were conjunct was in 1971 and 1972, years when many cover-ups were exposed. In the US, the publishing of the Pentagon Papers revealed the extent of the country's involvement in the Vietnam War, the truth of which had been hidden from its citizens. There was a court-martial of the US soldiers involved in My Lai massacre in Vietnam, making public the atrocities of the war, made even more shocking because those involved were supposed to be, quote, the good guys. Also during this time, 5 White House operatives were arrested, events which began unraveling the lies that ultimately led to the Watergate scandal. And public outcry finally led to the banning of the pesticide DDT, which had been approved for widespread use by government agencies. Exposure to the chemical was found not only to be killing bald eagles, but also to cause cancer, cardiovascular disease, and other health problems in humans. There's a huge amount of this. Remember, shaking the roots of the foundation, letting it crumble, revealing what's been hidden, corruption at its highest levels being exposed to heal. So that we, the people, we can face ourselves, we can see it head on, and we can make new and improved, higher octave choices. Pam Youngins continues, a healing crisis. As the Chiron-ERIS conjunction, that means they're together, has been building over the past few months, much has already come into public awareness that has been shocking and painful. These revelations of what was previously hidden from view is causing a healing crisis. Many have felt the coursing of anguish and anger through their veins and heeded a call to take action, each in their own way. At its core, the Chiron-ERIS conjunction is compelling us to acknowledge and tend to the wounds caused by the shadow side of Aries. These include egotism, willfulness, arrogance, and inability to cooperate or to let others lead, or to let our soul lead. Competitiveness, a belief that might equals right. Insensitivity, rudeness, and self-centeredness. Impatience, impulsiveness, rash or foolhardy actions. Aggressive and bullying behaviors, ruthlessness, and violence. Those are some heavy, dark shadow aspects, goo, that we're releasing, but we have to face it to release it, to renew. As the Chiron-ERIS alignment perfects this week, and with the Sun, Mercury, and Venus activating its energies too, there may be more revelations, or some may feel ready to speak up in new ways. Despite the pain we feel throughout this process, we realize that truth must come to light before changes can be made and healing can occur. This was our quote from last week. The truth cannot be silenced. It's impossible. So this is, despite the pain we feel throughout this process, we realize that truth must come to light before changes can be made and healing can occur. And one key point to realize, the shadow being revealed by Chiron and Eris is not new. It has been active but flying under the radar for far too many years to count. What is new is our awareness of the problem. The masks are off. So we see how emptying the vessel, laying down the stories, the scripts, the labels, the identities, the masks, all these things that obstruct the purity of who we are at our center. They obstruct us. The masks are off. Our awareness to the issues is new. It's full frontal. I can't imagine it getting any louder or deeper or more insidious and so forth. It's in our faces for all of humanity to see, to bear witness. And it's up to us, to our individual choices, to move into the new, to release the past, release the old, choose a new, use discernment, say yes, and choose the new. Because this Gemini new moon is the official start to 2025, as astrologer Susan Miller stated. It's time to break free. I want to break free. It's about the works. It's about spring scattering stars. It's about God created you for more, and your time is now. It's an orchestrated event and occurrence. Free your mind, and the rest will follow. Ancient machinations, complicated and secret plans that are changing they're shifting the balance of power. They're changing it. It's that beautiful image of all of those wheels. Just bringing it up one more time, and the clock, and the phases of the moon, and all of these astrological cosmic changes that are occurring. And last but not least, number 5, what if we rewrite the stars? What if we do the impossible? What if we do what society and people in our lives and institutions and governments and everything told us we couldn't? Well, that's an old thought pattern. That's an old belief. And that old way is over. So like the characters in the movie, have the courage, the will, the fortitude to say yes, to rewrite the stars, change our destinies, your destiny, because to Shirley MacLaine's point, it's all in the plane. The plane is the journey. It's the choices. It's the willingness to look at ourselves honestly and then embrace change. Thank you all for bearing with us. It's a longer show, but I wanted to get all of this in. So I love you all. Have a beautiful week, and we will see what's in store next week.